Many people have been writing about how to pre-fill information when you onboard your sellers on Stripe on your marketplace. So in this video, I take you through what I mean by pre-filling information and how to do it. Let's do it. So this is what it looks like if I send a seller to the Stripe onboarding without having pre-filled anything. So lots of weird questions will then be asked from the seller. So for instance, business type, individual, company. Not every seller might know. Then there are other questions like industry. A seller might not know. Website, what to add there. Great, and now let me show you the pre-filled example. So in this example, you can see that now the seller is onboarding, but for instance, their name and email is already added here because usually you have the name and you pretty much always have the email at least when you send the seller to the Stripe onboarding. So you should pre-fill that. Date of birth, home address, you still have to add that, of course. Now you can see I still also have to add my bank account, of course, but notice that it didn't ask me for the industry and the website as it did before. And that basically means that these questions, so the professional details and the public details, I was not asked about these in this example. First of all, not all sellers might know, and why would they? Why should they add that? You should pre-fill that always. That makes it so much easier for your sellers to onboard basically. Okay, and let's just go through the create account call on accounts version 2, which is the one Prometora is on. It's what Stripe recommends. It's their newest one. And if you're on version 1, that's not a problem at all. I will in just a second show you how it works on version 1. And if you want to migrate from 1 to 2, I also have a video on that you can check. I'll add a link to that here in the top. So let's go through it. So what you want to pre-fill always, the entity type individual. So usually your sellers are individuals. Well, on most marketplaces they are. But if they're not, then just ask for it in the sign up. So maybe you have a toggle there where you ask them, are you an individual or a company? So you already know before you send them to the Stripe onboarding. And once you know, you just add that detail as well so that this is pre-filled no matter what. Then the name plus email, you always know that. So you have to pre-fill the given name, the surname, and the email, of course. The country, you also pretty much always know that, so you pre-fill that as well. The website, you know that, so that's basically just the URL of your marketplace. The product description, so what are you buying and selling? So this is a marketplace for buying and selling pet food, for instance. You add that because then you can also pre-fill that. And how would your sellers know? Then the industry code, you also should always pre-fill that, and you can find your industry code in the Stripe documentation. I'll add a link in the description below here. So that's basically 6 fields that are gone now that you pre-filled. So it makes it much easier for your sellers to onboard. All they basically have to do now is to verify their ID and add their banking details, which makes sense. That's all they now have to do. So instead of using 10-20 minutes on it, now it's maybe 1 to 2 minutes to onboard. And if you're on the V1 accounts API, so the old version, it's basically the same pattern, just different names. So as you can see here, surname is called last name, identity.country is called country, email instead of contact email, and so on. So basically it works the same way, just different names. And just 3 things I just want to point out. So the MCC, so the merchant category code, that's the 4-digit code card networks use to clarify a business. So 5734, that's software store, 5812, that's restaurants, and so on. So you find the codes in the documentation on Stripe. Then why card payments is even requested. So that's actually a rule in US. So in the US, you cannot request transfers without card payments. So as you can see here, card payments requested true. And then in France, there are some certain rules that basically says that you have to create the account with an account token. So basically France, they have some different rules than the rest of the EU, where you have to basically set it up a little bit different. But for the seller onboarding, it basically works the same way, but in the back end, you have to do it a little bit differently, basically. In the description, I have a link to an article I wrote about this, where you can basically read all about how it works in France. Great, and on Prometora, we are of course pre-filling everything that I just showed you before on all marketplaces, because it's just the best way to do it. It makes the seller onboarding much faster. And we're also using embedded components, so that way you do not send the seller to the Stripe link as I was showing before, but you keep them on the marketplace. And you can read all about the embedded way of doing it in the link below as well. So let me show you how it looks like. So I click here on connect now, and I then pick my country. So now just pick Canada, for instance. Then, as you can see here, I'm not being sent to Stripe as I was showing just in the beginning of this video, but we keep the seller on your marketplace, which is a much better and nicer experience. So it's actually Stripe under the hood, but you don't really see that this is Stripe doing it. And now you can see here, if I click up here, you can see that the business type and the business details are already pre-filled. I just have to add my personal details and my bank details. That's how it works. So that's it, guys. I hope that you liked it, and if you did, then please give it a like and maybe also subscribe to this channel. That really helps. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye. Ciao.